Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. Be sure to check me out over on Rumble. There you'll find all of my stuff from YouTube, plus my political and social commentary and weekly current events, which YouTube frowns on. Links to my Rumble channel as well as my other YouTube channels and links to let you order my books are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an unexplained event video on the Bowmen of Mons. On August 22nd and 23rd, 1914, the British Expeditionary Force in World War I occupied the small Belgian town of Mons. They were trying to repulse the quickly advancing German forces. The Germans outnumbered the British 3-1, and by all rights, the British had no chance. The best they could hope for was to delay the Germans so that the French could better prepare to defeat them. So they were fighting a delaying tactic, as it were. The British held the town for over 48 hours until they were outflanked and forced to retreat. This was a pivotal point in the First World War. What is not widely known is that to cover the retreat of the British Expeditionary Force, they may very well have had a little bit of help. An account was published in newspapers at the time of phantom bowmen alongside the spirit of St. George helping the British at Mons. Soldiers on both sides, British and Germans, saw a long line of humanoid shapes glowing in the moonlight, firing arrows at the Germans as the British retreated. Unconfirmed reports indicate that the Germans actually did report similar stories. Evidently, many of the British asked St. George for help, and St. George may have sent help in the form of longbowmen from Agincourt. One German field medic reported treating wounds which may have been inflicted by arrows. There were no arrows in the wounds, but he said they didn't look like bullet holes. They looked more like arrow wounds, puncture wounds. According to the witnesses, the phantom longbowmen stood resolute in the face of withering German fire and loosed flight after flight of arrows which decimated the front ranks of the German soldiers. The Germans could have easily wiped out the retreating British if they could have advanced. But because of the barrage of arrows, the Germans were forced to pause and take cover. If only one soldier had made this claim, then, he might be considered mentally unfit or, in his cups or whatever, drunk, on drugs, whatever. But when you have dozens of British soldiers and even more German soldiers all reporting the same thing, including medics, you kind of have to give it a little bit of consideration. I mean, I'm a veteran. I've spent time with people who were in firefights and who actually fought mostly in Vietnam, a couple of them in Korea. But the point being, when you're in a situation like that, the vast majority of soldiers, and I don't care what their religious beliefs were at the time, but when the thing started, at some point, the vast majority of them are going to find God. There is an old saying, there are no atheists in foxholes. Now, that being said, I can absolutely believe that some of these British soldiers would be praying for help as they retreated, knowing they're putting their backs to the enemy, and the enemy can easily advance and kill them. Okay? When prayer is your only recourse, you pray a lot. I know that from personal experience on other issues. But that being said, who says prayer can't be answered? There's a lot of people in the world who believe prayers can be answered. And if that's the case, maybe St. George decided to lend a helping hand. Couple of squares of bowmen holding the Germans at bay while the British retreated. That could be effective. I could see that happening. I'm not saying this actually happened or not. I'm not jumping on the fence one way or the other. But my point is, we have reports of it. It was widely published in newspapers. I can see the upper echelons not knowing anything about it, because if you're a lower field officer and you get handed a stack of reports, after the fact reports, and you're reading through them and they're, well, okay, ghosts with bows helped us fight. I'm going to put that over there. I'm not going to send that up the line. You see what I'm saying? I can see that happening. But as I said, it was widely reported in newspapers, and to date, as far as I know, nobody's refuted it. So there you go. The Bowmen of Mons. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all. There is a house in New Orleans where the monsters all hang out. When the police detective, who happens to be a skinwalker squirrel, uncovers a plot by a paranormal perpetrator, he has to enlist the aid of his fellow housemates. If you enjoy a modern, quirky take on historical mythology, check out my new original novel, The House Off Farrago Road.